Kindness is having a healthy fear and respect for the supernatural laws at play. After you repent, repenting means a renewing of the mind, an ownership in one's faults, an admittance to what is not okay, not right, and a way to ask for the pivot to transform one's consciousness from guilt to grace and taking right action from the present perfect moment onwards. You will begin focusing on how to maintain the state of grace you are in. God is faithful. He will always give grace to those who repent. In the present perfect moment of repenting, grace will always follow. This fact is tried and true. Once you have obtained grace, your battle becomes maintaining that state of grace through a series of acts by giving grace to others and learning how to give your judgment to God. Kindness always comes back around to you, even if that boomerang takes a second lifetime or gets passed down to your future loved ones. No matter what, have faith that kindness will always come back around in a form that may or may not be different than from what you expected the rewards to be. But if you focus on the present perfect moment, you will always see what good you have sowed in the past that is already here in your present perfect moment while you are reading this. Kindness is focusing on the good, seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Matthew 6:33, New International Version. There will always be bad things happening, flaws to find, and evil worth gossiping about. Such is the state of our condition due to the first original sin of being not good enough, propelling the ego to keep striving to show off, to be better than, to win in a zero-sum game of conqueror and conquered. Power at the expense of someone else's loss of power. In history, biology, and stories propel this dog-eat-dog mentality, while the heart twists and resists this rigged narrative. Markers. Anjali researches Dante's The Divine Comedy, Canto 23, when both Virgil and Dante ascended from the fifth circle to the sixth one. The angel at the gate of the sixth circle had erased one more mark on Dante that allows his soul to be more free. The sixth circle of purgatory represents avarice, one of Anjali's biggest current struggles, seeing that she only has less than $5 left in the bank, and she is biding the time for the next month so that her disability money can come through. Avarice is being both stingy and being a spendthrift. Anjali has the latter problem. She has spent all her retirement with zero savings, about $30,000 in debt, living on disability paycheck to paycheck. She leaves that evening to see the exhibition on marking time, and it is very telling and appropriate. Anjali's intuition about defeating impatience with patience has to do with replacing an attachment to a fixed outcome with gratitude in the present perfect presence. In other words, an awareness of the present perfect moment. She watches as a woman was stamping on a receipt for every second that passed. The audience watches the exhibition in pensive silence as the entire group hears the clanking on the table while the seconds tick by. In rhythm and in sync, she stops when the receipt tape runs out. The audience claps at the performance that lasted 15 minutes or so. Anjali comes to the table and sees the number 265 stamped on the last receipt. The artist stamped 265 times on a receipt that says, "The receipt of now." Anjali does a little mental math. 2 plus 6 plus 5 equals 13. There were 3 bottles of wine and a carton of orange juice on the table. She picks up the orange juice, and near the lips labels is the label 13. She heads to the DD meeting. That evening she shares that she cries more of joy than of sorrow nowadays. The rainbow. The tour guide says to Anjali and another Asian tourist, the rainbow represents hope. It represents the light that comes after a storm. It was a stained glass portrait of Jesus walking on water in the heart of where the storm is, and another where Jesus is inside the vessel calming the storm. The sixth circle is the rainbow that glows after the knot. After the sixth knot is finally untied, is finally and completely untied. The Knox, fiction based on a true St. Giles Cathedral pilgrimage in Edinburgh. She looks up the stained glass dedicated to Robert Burns. At the top in the center was a heart. At the top in the center is a heart. Surrounding this heart is a yellow sunflower with what looks like pomegranate seeds condensed in the center. The tour guide quotes one of Robert Burns' poems about love. Falling in love is like a rose blooming in June. And as Anjali meditates on this, when she had some time to be on her own, sitting in the middle of the row facing the heart stained glass, she thinks about Sunny's poem to Anjali at the afterword of her book of tragedy. There you are, a rose among weeds. And there it is. In that moment, Anjali knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that Sunny always deeply, profoundly, and wholeheartedly loves her. So much so that he had to let her go so that she may grow and come to her own terms about her addictive behavior, her limiting beliefs, about what she wanted, the way Sunny's mother saved Sunny's life when his mother cut him out of her life, when he had to learn the hard lesson of what he was doing. Funny, Sunny's prayer to God during the ending of their marriage was for her to find God, find sobriety, and have her dreams fulfilled. The dreams she couldn't decide on, family or fun. She only saw it in the binary. She could not and did not trust in Jesus and in God to have both. And now that she is travel writing, all she longs for is to get rooted once again in a family with a man like Sunny again.